It was the kind of mission that only a handful of people would ever dare to take. For 7 astronauts, the Space Shuttle Columbia's 2003 mission was their final journey into the unknown, one that would end tragically, but one that also defined their courage, sacrifice, and unbreakable spirit. Their names will forever be etched in the hearts of a nation. Rick D. Husband, William C. McCool, Michael P. Anderson, Elon Ramon, Kalpana Chawla, David M. Brown, and Laurel B. Clark. The Columbia mission, STS-107, was not supposed to be a tragedy. It was supposed to be a triumph. In many ways it was. The astronauts conducted over 80 experiments, ranging from life sciences to technology. It was a bright, optimistic chapter in the story of space exploration. But from the moment the shuttle lifted off, there was an underlying tension, a quiet storm gathering in the background that no one could have predicted. What began as a routine flight would become a haunting reminder of the risks that come with pushing the boundaries of human exploration. The launch took place on January 16, 2003, a crisp morning at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The sky was clear, the sun glowing brilliantly, casting a golden hue over the shuttle's powerful engines. Thousands of people lined up at the viewing sites, their hearts filled with pride and excitement. For the astronauts aboard Columbia, this moment was the culmination of years of training, years of preparation, and a lifetime of dreaming about what lay beyond the stars. As the countdown ticked away and the shuttle launched into the heavens, the world watched. What they couldn't see, what no one could see, was a small piece of foam insulation that had detached from the external fuel tank during the launch. It was a seemingly insignificant moment, a piece of debris smaller than a coffee cup. But that tiny fragment would soon prove to be the spark that ignited one of the most tragic events in the history of human space exploration. For the astronauts aboard Columbia, space was their home, their sanctuary. They spent days in zero gravity, moving effortlessly through the shuttle's cabin, conducting their experiments and floating weightlessly. The team was a model of collaboration and determination, each member contributing their expertise to the mission. They worked together with focus and precision, driven by the collective desire to advance knowledge, to unlock the mysteries of space and science. Kalpana Chawla, the first woman of Indian descent in space, was the mission's flight engineer. A quiet force, she was known for her brilliance and her unwavering dedication. She was more than just an astronaut, she was a pioneer, a symbol of perseverance and courage. David M. Brown, an accomplished flight surgeon, was also part of the crew, always ready to lend a helping hand to calm nerves, to ensure everything was running smoothly. His calm demeanor was contagious, even in the face of the unknown. Then there was Elon Ramon, Israel's first astronaut, representing not just his country but the spirit of global cooperation in space exploration. His presence on the mission was historic, and he embodied the hope that science and exploration could unite people across borders and backgrounds. Yet, amid the camaraderie there was also a profound realization, a quiet understanding that space was a realm of unpredictability, a place where even the most routine tasks could have unforeseen consequences. And even as they floated in the tranquility of space, the danger that lurked within their fragile shuttle was already beginning to take shape. On the 16th day of their mission, the crew aboard Columbia began their descent back to Earth. The atmosphere inside the shuttle was calm, despite the tension that comes with re-entry. But what no one realized, what the crew couldn't possibly know, was that a dangerous flaw had been caused during liftoff when the foam struck the left wing of the shuttle. It had created a crack, small but deadly. It was enough to compromise the integrity of the shuttle's heat shield, the very thing that protected the crew from the extreme temperatures they would soon face during re-entry. As Columbia began its descent toward Earth, the shuttle encountered temperatures of more than 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The wing, compromised by the impact of the foam, could no longer protect the shuttle from the intense heat. The temperature caused the shuttle's left wing to disintegrate, and soon the damage spread to the rest of the vehicle. In a terrifying instant, the shuttle began to break apart in the sky.
Hey there, if you're enjoying the story so far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our exciting adventures. Now let's get back to the mystery.
Inside the shuttle, the crew was unaware of the impending disaster. They were still in the early stages of their descent, their bodies adjusting to the pull of gravity. They had no idea that in just moments, they would be fighting for their lives. In the final moments before the shuttle began to break apart, communication with Columbia's crew was lost. The once steady hum of the shuttle's systems was replaced by a deafening silence. The crew, ever dedicated to their work, had no warning. They had no chance to react. The devastation came in a flash. On the ground, the world watched in horror as the shuttle disintegrated in the sky. The debris scattered across the Texas landscape, marking the end of a journey that had once seemed so promising. And as the news spread, shock turned into mourning and mourning turned into resolve. The world had lost 7 brave souls, but their legacy, one of courage, curiosity, and dedication to the pursuit of knowledge, would live on. In the wake of the disaster, investigations uncovered the chilling truth. The foam debris that had struck the shuttle during liftoff had led to the catastrophe. The small piece of foam had set off a chain reaction that no one had anticipated, and that no amount of training or preparation could have foreseen. The loss was profound. But from that grief came a deeper understanding. The lessons learned from the Columbia disaster would shape future missions and influence the design and safety protocols of space travel for years to come. And while the tragedy of Columbia was felt most deeply by the families, friends, and colleagues of the crew, it was a loss shared by a nation, and the world, that had looked to these astronauts as heroes. They had dared to venture into the unknown, and in doing so, they gave everything for the cause of exploration, of discovery, and of the human spirit. The Columbia disaster is a stark reminder of the fragility of space travel, but it is also a testament to the resilience of those who choose to explore the unknown. The crew of Columbia, each one extraordinary in their own right, remain symbols of dedication, courage, and sacrifice. Their journey may have ended tragically, but their legacy lives on, inspiring future generations to reach for the stars and to keep pushing the boundaries of what is possible, no matter the cost. And as we remember them, we remember their names, their faces, their stories. We remember Rick Husband, William McCool, Michael Anderson, Elon Ramon, Kalpana Chawla, David Brown, and Laurel Clark. We remember their mission, not as a failure, but as a triumph of human courage, perseverance, and the unyielding pursuit of knowledge. Their legacy is written in the stars. As the world mourned the loss of Columbia's crew, a collective determination emerged, a promise that their deaths would not be in vain. The loss was devastating, but it became a pivotal moment for NASA and the entire world of space exploration. There was no denying the tragedy, but there was also no denying the resolve to learn from it, to prevent such a disaster from ever happening again. In the days following the disaster, NASA launched a full investigation to uncover exactly what had gone wrong. The investigation was exhaustive and thorough. Engineers, safety experts, and astronauts worked tirelessly to piece together the events leading up to the moment Columbia began its descent. Their goal was clear: to understand how something as small as a piece of foam insulation could trigger such a catastrophic failure, and to ensure that every precaution was taken to avoid another tragedy. What they discovered was that the foam, while seemingly insignificant, had struck the left wing of the shuttle with such force that it caused a breach in the thermal protection system. This system, which was designed to protect the shuttle from the immense heat generated during re-entry, had been compromised. The damage went unnoticed during the flight and the re-entry process, and it wasn't until the shuttle began to break apart that the extent of the damage became clear. The investigation also uncovered issues with NASA's culture of risk management. There were warning signs early in the mission that the foam debris could pose a danger to the shuttle, but those warnings had been downplayed or ignored. There was a reluctance to address the issue head-on, and that failure to act with urgency contributed to the loss of the crew. It was a painful truth, but one that needed to be confronted in order to move forward. The findings from the investigation led to sweeping changes within NASA. New safety protocols were implemented, and the shuttle program underwent a complete overhaul. The agency worked tirelessly to improve its engineering processes, re-examine its risk assessment practices, and strengthen the safety measures for all future missions. The lessons learned from Columbia would forever shape the way space agencies approach the challenges of space exploration. But for all the systemic changes and technological improvements, there was still the lingering sense of loss. The crew of Columbia had paid the ultimate price for their bravery, and their families carried that weight every day. Yet, in their hearts, they found a sense of pride, knowing that their loved ones had given their lives for something greater than themselves. In the years that followed, the memory of the Columbia crew was honored in many ways. Memorials were built and scholarships were established in their names. The families of the astronauts became advocates for space exploration, using their voices to ensure that the sacrifices made by their loved ones would not be forgotten. For Kalpana Chawla, who had inspired so many with her journey as the first woman of Indian descent to venture into space, her legacy became a source of empowerment for young girls around the world. Kalpana's story, one of perseverance and determination, continued to resonate long after her death. She became a symbol of what was possible for women, and for all people who dared to dream beyond the confines of their circumstances. David Brown, the flight surgeon with a deep sense of calm and compassion, was remembered for his kindness and his dedication to the crew. He had been the one to reassure his fellow astronauts in moments of doubt, the one who always made sure everyone was okay. His memory lived on as a beacon of selflessness and care, even in the face of unimaginable danger. Elon Ramon, Israel's first astronaut, became a hero in his home country, his name forever etched into the annals of history. He had represented the hope for peace, the belief that humanity's shared aspirations for knowledge could transcend borders. His legacy was a testament to the power of unity in the face of adversity. Rick Husband, the commander of the mission, was remembered for his unwavering leadership and his deep love for his crew. He had led them with dignity and humility, and when it mattered most, he had made decisions with the courage of a man who knew the weight of the task at hand. His memory was one of quiet strength, a reminder of what it means to lead with integrity. William McCool, the pilot, was remembered for his passion for flight, his love for exploration, and his deep sense of responsibility for the mission and his crew. His dedication to his work and his family was reflected in the respect and admiration with which he was held. Laurel Clark, the mission specialist who had devoted her life to science, was remembered for her boundless curiosity and her unshakable determination to make a difference. Her legacy lived on in the scientific community, as researchers and educators continued to honor her work and contributions to the field. And Michael Anderson, the payload commander who had spent his life dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge and the advancement of space science, was remembered for his kindness, his intellect, and his dedication to his mission. His contributions to the mission were celebrated, and his passion for discovery continued to inspire those who followed in his footsteps. In the aftermath of Columbia's final mission, the world had lost more than astronauts. It had lost a symbol of human ingenuity, a testament to the power of collective effort, and a reminder of the risks involved in pushing the boundaries of what is possible. But the crew's legacy was not defined by the tragedy of their deaths. Instead, it was defined by the lessons they imparted, the changes they instigated, and the hope they inspired in others to reach for the stars. Their story is one of sacrifice, of courage in the face of the unknown, and of the pursuit of knowledge and exploration for the greater good of humanity. It's a reminder that the pursuit of science and discovery is not without its dangers, but that those who dare to venture into the unknown do so with the belief that the rewards will far outweigh the risks. As we reflect on the Columbia disaster, we remember the crew not just for the way they died, but for the way they lived. We remember their dedication, their love for exploration, and their willingness to face the unknown with courage. They will forever be etched in our memories, not as victims of a tragic accident, but as heroes who gave their lives in service of a mission greater than themselves. In the end, the legacy of the Columbia crew is one of resilience, hope, and the unyielding human spirit. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten, and their memory will continue to inspire future generations to reach higher, to dream bigger, and to never stop exploring the vast unknown frontier of space.